Right, we're back to it. We're back to the videos of me walking around buildings where I work instead of me standing more professionally in front of a camera and showing you stuff and pictures. We got work to do, and it's kind of raining. And by the way, today makes exactly 9 years ago that my wife and I got married. So nine years of marriage as of today. So we got some comments over the weekend that I find interesting, and I'm kind of obligated to do a video on it once you hear them. So the first comment where this all started was rosemary oil for my hair loss, photos before and after. Someone named Abdullah Munir had this to say, quote, "Nick, if your son goes bald and he wants to get a hair transplant, would you let him?" To which Green Parrot, this is really what made this video, Green Parrot said, quote, "Oh, he will definitely make a video on that. Trust me, I know him," end quote. So that's great already. By the way, I want to point this out. This is kind of sad. Here's the dumpster, and here's a little girl's bike. Doesn't even look like anything's wrong with it. Sad. Why are they throwing that away? Okay. Then we have another video that I made called Me at Norwood 1, age 18 in 1999. Abdullah again is asking about the hair transplant, this time adding the phrase to boost his confidence as far as my son. Robert added a little bit talking about, he said maybe a more interesting question is what about Rogaine or Propecia for his son, neither of which is approved for minors. But of course, Robert was saying also that hair transplants are ill-advised for anyone under the age of 25. So let's try to figure this out. My son, who's 6.5, by the way, so this is at least a decade out, but okay, he's about to start first grade. But in the event that a decade from now, as a teenager, he's definitely experienced a major hair loss, let's say whether it's hairline or not, maybe it's diffuse thinning, he's balding on top, and here he is, this teenage kid that's losing his hair. Would I be okay with a hair transplant, Propecia, or Rogaine, any of these things? And you all know me too well. The answer is no. I would not be okay with it. I'm already very, very skeptical about any kind of prescription drug to begin with. And it's funny because I made a video talking about that, and YouTube did not allow me to make money off that video. They unmonetized it. They don't want me talking. Check this out. And see, they don't watch the videos, they just see the titles. But check this out. YouTube does not like me talking any skepticism about any kind of prescription drugs, because that shows you how much money there is in it. So, but privately in this video I can talk about it. I am so skeptical about prescription drugs. None of my family is on them. Now granted, it's one thing if we're sick and we have to be on a prescription to get through it, but as far as just living day-to-day popping pills, fundamentally opposed to it for my family. So no, Propecia, Rogaine for a kid, no. Hair transplant, no. I mean, the thing is, my son will have a dad who's very proactive when it comes to this whole thing about hair loss and teaching him what he needs to know from a psychological point of view. So he already at 6.5 understands that we make part of our income by me making videos about hair loss. And he even said a few weeks ago, he said, "Daddy, why do you make such a big deal about hair videos?" And I explained to him I make money from it. But he's going to be growing up around that. So for him, he's going to fully understand the value system and the belief system that I have, which is, and basically he's going to, I mean, I've got his 1-year-old photos, and you know my theory. You look at your photo from when you're 1 year old, and that's a projection of you at age 35. And I got to say, his photos at 1 year old on his end, he's maybe Norwood 2.5, but not 3 like I was. So I think he's going to be an inch shorter, because same concept, double a kid's height when they're 2 years old. That's their height when they're an adult. It worked for me. It worked for my sister. So he'll be about 5'8". He'll be an inch shorter than me, but have a little bit of an advantage on the hairline based on the pictures I've seen. So he'll experience hair loss, but to a little bit less of a degree, but he's still going to experience it, especially as he gets past age 35 and he's into his 40s like I will. So he's going to be brainwashed by me. Let's face it. My son's going to be brainwashed by me. He's already, he's a vegetarian. So it's like, think about that as a parent, though. You get to brainwash your kid. So I'm getting to brainwash my kid. This kid, people say, well, Nick, what about when he gets older? He's going to want to eat meat. What if he wants to eat meat? It's funny because even now, if someone said, hey, here's a hot dog, here's a burger, he'd be like, no, that's disgusting, that's me, that's a dead animal, I don't want to eat that. Like, he's already so brainwashed. So imagine having me as a dad, this whole concept of, if you have enough confidence and you believe in yourself and you know what to actually focus on and what people find value in, focus on those things. See, that's what he's going to grow up hearing. So this is a kid who, even if he did experience major hair loss issues, which I don't expect him to, just minor ones as he's getting older, I just don't see why. It comes down to the fundamental issue. The question isn't, would I let him get a hair transplant? Would I let him take Propecia or, you know, some kind of drug? The issue is, would I have a son who has self-esteem issues and has issues that where he'd want to? No. See, that's the thing. And people hate it when I say this, that it always comes back to confidence and believing in yourself and knowing how other people value it. And that whole thing I said a couple months ago about how people don't care about you. They care about what you are willing to do for them, what value you hold to them. See, that's what it's all coming down to. So the hair's not going to be an issue because of how I'm raising them. It's a psychological thing that I can prevent. So that's an answer. No one's going to like this video. I should have done. You know what I should have done? I should have started out this video saying, no one's going to agree with this video. I should have done that thing, because like this, no one's going to like this video. No one wants to admit how much confidence has to do with it and how much putting value on other stuff has to do with it. So again, if I was your dad and I was raising you in that way and you grew up around this, you'd be like jaded by the whole thing, as far as, and the last thing you do is care about your hair at this point. So I'm going to focus on all the things that he can control, not on the things he can't. And even then, based on his pictures, he's going to be a little bit better off than I am. So there's the video that you decided you wanted me to make, and yet no one's surprised by anything I said, and no one's delighted to hear it. This is a video that's not fun, right? Not fun video, and I should have started out with this kind of disclaimer.